through storms, unshaken, unbowed. From trials and verdicts, still standing proud. A titan in the tempest, against the raging crowd. He's got a vision for the future, gonna shout it aloud. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key. Make the big switch. Power to the people. Time to teach the rich. Legal battles can't hold him. He's moving on. With plans so bold, from dusk till dawn. He's rewriting the rules. A new dawn's day. From the hands of the few to the people's way. Say goodbye to all chains, embrace the new. A financial revolution, fair and true. For the workers, the dreamers, side by side. In Trump's new era, let freedom rise. Changing the wind, it's coming fast. A new foundation built to last. Cryptocurrency's the key. Make the big switch. Power to the people. Time to ditch the rich.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Crazy Kryptonaut channel. I am Zester, and I loved being able to end the song, our intro, at Time to Ditch the Rich, because it is the time, or at least it's time for there to be a different class of wealthy and of the rich folks. And so I hope everyone is having an amazing end to the week. And I am going to jump into it today because, guys, it is going to be a pretty short one. And so I'm going to go ahead and get into the disclaimer. Thank you, Kukla, so much for making certain that I include that. And absolutely, guys, everything that is in or on the Crazy Kryptonaut channel is for educational and entertainment purposes alone and should not be viewed as legal, professional, financial advice of any form or kind. Please do consult with a legal, financial, or any other professional necessary before making any major life decisions. And so thank you guys all so much for joining. And Richard, that is the goal. You're going to get that dang song stuck in my head, Zester. It's stuck in my head. Richard, I'm just trying to share the curse or the blessing, whichever way you look at it, because I've had that song stuck in my head for a month or two now. And so I'm sharing the pain, Richard. But thank you so much for joining, and I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful evening. What is up, Donna? And, well, you don't have a Tino to say hello to right now. I bet he's sleeping on my bed. But thank you so much for joining, Donna. And I'll grab Tino at some point tonight. Bring him out and make him say hello. Kukla, as always, thank you not only for making certain that I get that compliance message out there, but for everything you do in the community, not only for me on the Crazy Kryptonaut, but also for my father on the original Mark Z. It is deeply appreciated. Deeply. Thank you so much. What's up? Flying Squirrel 89. Greetings, Patriots and Kryptonauts. Thank you so much for joining. And what's up, Gary? I'm looking forward to the dad jokes. I know as I continue to scroll down that I'm going to find them. Thank you, as always, for being here, Gary. What's up, Deborah? What's up, Patricia? Oh, and scrolling. Oh, thank you so much for joining, Crazy Chester and Linda Hearn and Patricia Lee. I would say I was similarly kind of disappointed that President Trump did not talk on crypto or Bitcoin yesterday at the press conference. I mean, when I think about it, though, Patricia, it makes sense. It's not a conversation to have all the time. That is not a conversation that the average American wants to have nowadays. And he needs to focus on the things that are going to ensure that we win down ballot. We need Donald Trump out there ensuring that we not only win the presidency, but we also win the House and the Senate. And so, Patricia, I know that cryptocurrency and the financial change that is coming is something that's extremely important to the administration, but ultimately, they would have to let a lot of cats out of a lot of bags in order to start having that conversation right now. And the American people probably wouldn't vote for him if they did. So I'm always cautiously optimistic in regards to the information that we're going to get each time Trump goes live. Always cautiously optimistic because he gives us such huge amounts of information. But at the same time, it's not the full picture. What's up, Mile High Trish and LS? And howdy, Neil Brooks coming in from Graham, North Kakalaki at 92 degrees. Oh, man, I bet it's a hot one, Neil. Is it humid also? That's the question. In North Carolina, the heat is no problem unless the humidity is a similar number, in which case 92 degrees in North Carolina feels like an oven. Gary, what do you call a cat who watches dirty movies? A pervert. That's a good one. That is a good one, Gary. And what's up, Rocker Mom? And absolutely, guys, please do hit the thumbs up if you do appreciate the channel. I know I'll appreciate it if you do click the button. For some reason, the algorithm seems to think that it's really important that people click that thumbs up. And so I will appreciate it. And I'm certain that it may spread the information to more and more people. And so what is up, Musical Lady and Steve Thornton? We absolutely can, Steve. We can be very optimistic about our future. No matter how dark, dim, or somewhat depressing things get in terms of world politics, foreign policy, and everything that's going on in our modern era, I strongly believe that the worst thing we can do is get upset about it. If we get upset about it, it's something that we as humans just do. When something upsets us, essentially, if it's sad, if it's upsetting, many people then end up just throwing up a white flag because we want the sadness to stop. And so keep in mind, guys, and you're absolutely right, Stephen, we have a lot to look forward to. We have a lot to look forward to. So many good things are happening also. We may just be hearing about all the negative things on the news. It doesn't mean there's not a lot of really positive things also happening. They're just not being reported. That's not what the mainstream media is going to write articles about, because that's not what sells newspapers. To throw back to a somewhat antiquated reference or saying nowadays, because not a lot of newspapers are being sold, but we are living in a world where drama, anger, aggressiveness, war, famine, everything awful, that's what sells in the media, and that's what the media brings to us. And so it's always important to keep in mind that for every single story you see out there in today's news, there are 1,000 stories of wonderful people doing wonderful things for each other. They're just not writing articles about that. They're just not putting that out on international news channels. It's happening. We just don't hear about those because that does not sell papers. It does not sell. It's not a great headline. Think about it. Even when you watch the local 5 o'clock news, they tell you all the horrible things that are going on in your community, and then they spend maybe a minute showing you photos of happy puppies from the recent adoption drive. But they focus entirely on all the negative Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. And so, with all of that said, and with all the hellos gone through, and I know there are far more, and thank you guys all so much for joining. We are going to jump into it today because we don't have a lot of news. We have a little bit of interesting news, and we definitely have a serious warning that is going to be included for people to really be keeping in mind that are on the conservative side, that are followers of Donald Trump, that are truthers. I do have a very large warning to put out there and more information because, as I've talked about before, we are being targeted by scammers. We're being targeted by, well, everybody essentially at this point in time because, well, the deck is stacked against us. But we have another one to be on the lookout for, and it is in regard to cryptocurrency, and it's in regard to a lot of false accusation and false news that is being thrown out there by whether they're malicious left-wing actors, I don't know. But malicious is a guarantee. So let's jump into all that. And of course, we're going to start with our normal beginning, and that is just checking out what's going on in the world of cryptocurrency. And so 60,000 Bitcoin is maintaining 60,000. We have had a lot of positive news in regards to it, and we've also just seen a large amount of general price increases. As we had talked about on Wednesday, cryptocurrency seems to actually rebound faster than the vast majority of other assets. Whether that's the stock market, gold, silver, crypto tends to rebound faster. And the reason behind that is very, very simple. It's infinitely easier to swipe a card, click some buttons, and buy cryptocurrency. If you were going to go out there and try to buy a silver ounce, it's going to take time. That is not just going to be the click of a button. Even if you order it online, you're waiting days. It's not the same kind of system. And so crypto reacts very quickly, and we are seeing crypto rebound over 60K in terms of Bitcoin. We are looking at XRP after that absolute tear of a run that it had over the past days. It is now struggling. That is fairly normal. Remember, XRP went over 63 cents just a matter of under 48 hours from right now ago. Now it's currently sitting at 57.5. Not in any way surprising in my mind. I think I mentioned that on the Wednesday stream. If I had a lot of time and I didn't have anything else to do, I would have sold and I'd have bought back in on XRP. I don't have time to play those games nowadays, but it's always something that is very, very predictable. When information like that comes out, you're going to see a massive increase in price, and then you're going to see essentially a correction occur in a microcosm type level. Whereas we would talk about corrections and we'd say the entire stock market is experiencing a correction. In this case, it's very, very specific. It's to one specific asset. XRP is experiencing that correction. It's just looking for its floor. Where are people no longer willing to continue selling on account of the general overall market? And I would expect that to occur somewhere around 53 or 54 cents. So I am not placing any bets that it's not going to continue going down for a very, very short term. The reason behind that, guys, is that typically when we see an increase like that from a specific token, and it's counter to the rest of the market because XRP boomed 25% up in 24 hours, while the rest of the market was falling. That tends to result in essentially a very close to 50 to 75% retracement. And we are currently on schedule for that. And so I'm expecting XRP to fall back to somewhere around 53, 54 cents, and then start back off on a positive trend. Of course, as we always say, whether it's on the Crazy Kryptonaut or on the original Mark Z or on Whiskey and Wisdom or on anything else. I am just a guy on the internet. It is not professional financial advice. It may be the advice that I'm following, but at that point in time, it is in no way professional advice. Please keep in mind, it is for educational and entertainment purposes alone. It may work for me, it may not work for you, and we are not out here to provide professional financial advice in any form or fashion. And so I believe that XRP is going to continue retracing down to literally right around the 53.5 to 54 cents, and then we're going to see it start an upward trend. I mean, you can always come back, clip this out, and point to me whether I'm right or wrong. Maybe I'll be insanely wrong. Hindsight is 2020. And Savvy, that is a great point. Savvy, I wish people would stop playing with a dead cat. I absolutely agree, Savvy. I absolutely agree. The stock market had what has got to be the most iconic, most absolute guaranteed dead cat bounce I can ever imagine in the history of the stock market over these past few days. I tried to get the AI to actually make a funny image of that one. But for those that are not aware, Michelle Nuth, a dead cat bounce is actually a term that is utilized in all markets, whether it's stock market, cryptocurrency, or anything else. And what a dead cat bounce is known as is when you see a large decrease in regards to a certain market value. So say we'll take cryptocurrency as the example. Cryptocurrency plummeted over, well, $800 billion in a matter of 24 hours, essentially around a 20% shedding of the entire market. And then the price leveled out. And when it leveled out, it started to bounce. And so the easiest way to look at that term, Michelle, is in the same way that you would look at a basketball that didn't have air. If you haven't pumped up your basketball and you're going out to play, yeah, you can shoot the basketball, but the second it bounces, it hits and it barely bounces back up. And that's the same logic behind a dead cat bounce in terms of markets. It's that we hit a floor. Nobody else wants to sell. Nobody wants to sell. And so that's why we hit a floor price. Bitcoin quit falling because nobody else wanted to sell. People wanted to buy more than they wanted to sell. But there was not a lot of buy pressure. There were not a lot of people looking to purchase at that price point. And that resulted in a dead cat bounce. Nobody wants to sell. Nobody wants to buy. And that is when you end up in a situation where, from a market perspective, the expectation would be that the market is going to go back down. That is not always true. That is not a 100% fact. But it is a very, very common occurrence. Whenever you see a market precipitously fall, it then hits a floor price where no one else is willing to sell, and it only rebounds back up a small amount, nowhere close to where it was priced just a matter of 24 hours ago. In this case, Bitcoin was well over $63,000. It went down to, 50-some thousand. And then it rebounded, and it did not re-achieve its previous price point. That would be termed a dead cat. And I know I have a bunch of angry cats that are probably very worried about what the rest of the evening includes, because I have been mentioning dead cat far too often, probably for their sanity and peace of mind. And so to Valentino and Valentina, I absolutely apologize. You are very, very safe. We're not going to see how high you bounce. But that is the term for those that are not aware of it. And that is something that you will see utilized in every different market. Gold, silver, anything in between. You're going to hear the same term, and it has the same definition. Tahoe, a boat definition, a hole in the water where I pour my money. I mean, Tahoe, that is one of the jokes, isn't it? What are the best days in a boat owner's life? The day he buys the boat and the day he sells the boat. The two best days in a boat owner's life. Scarlet, Mushu chicken is code for dead cat. Well, Scarlet, now none of the cats are going to come back out and hang out with me this evening. None of them are. No. Guys, do not worry in the slightest. I have got a Tino and a Tina staring at me right now. They may be a little bit confused about why I keep saying their names, but otherwise they are very, very happy campers. All right, though. Let's jump in to our next articles, guys, because we do not have a long list, but we have a pretty important list here. And the one thing that I really wanted to cover tonight, guys, and this is probably, in my mind, the most important news of the evening. It is that we are getting covered up with scams. A Trump-themed token soars, then dives 95% after his son dashes hopes that the former president backed it. There are countless people right now going out there and saying that they are endorsed, that they are supported by the Trump administration, and they are selling cryptocurrency and meme tokens under that lie. I would like everyone to be extremely aware and conscious of this. It is happening to an extreme degree. I am nonstop. Every time I get a text message, a phone call, an email, anybody, and we're talking folks that have been in cryptocurrency for many, many years, and they are sending me messages saying, hey, I just bought this token. Did I make a mistake? And my answer 99.99999% of the time is, yeah, you screwed the pooch. But it is very, very natural. It is because it is being spread in our communities. It is being sold to us. They have targeted us. They are selling to us. Always. We are the current group to scam. And so I would like everyone to be extremely aware. In all honesty, the vast majority of the news that I had to share today was in regards to the fact that this is occurring. And it's because when I'm looking at the news of the day, I'm far more worried about the people that are getting their money and their future stolen on account of the scams than I am worried about the general news of the day. And that's because more people on a daily basis are getting scammed than are being affected by some of these different articles, legislation, rulings right now. Right now, the most absolutely important issue to target is the fact that we are getting scammed. We are the only thing they're looking at. And some of these guys they're not left-wing actors. They're not politically based. They're just looking at a group of people who are suddenly being introduced to a whole new idea. And they're saying that's exploitable. I can exploit that. All of these folks are suddenly hearing from Donald Trump that Bitcoin is something to never sell. It's something that everybody needs to own. We're having all these different cryptocurrencies thrown out there. We're having serious discussions about backing cryptocurrency with gold and silver, backing our currency with gold and silver. And all of that creates a world that is extremely difficult to navigate because we don't know what is 100% verified concrete truth and what is. And so I would absolutely advise, number one reason that I'm even on here and that I started the show in the first place was not only for people to learn and understand how crypto works, but to avoid these scams, because I know we are the target. It's us. And so every time you open up your social media, every time you open up your telephone and you look at your text messages, every time you open up your email and you look at your emails that you have received, please, I desperately beg you to look at those emails and assume that they want to screw you. And I know that is not the world we want to live in. And I don't think we should live in that world. But that is reality. And as much as I want it to be different, I cannot will it into existence. And none of us can. We cannot will this world into being benevolent. What we can do is we can protect ourselves. And so, of those things that I would say right now, just looking at this right off the bat, is keep in mind that if someone says that someone that you like politically is backing a token, do not believe it. Second of all, if someone is on a platform like Telegram and they are privately messaging you, they are a scammer. It's not a question. If someone sends you a DM on Twitter or X, it's a scam. If someone sends you a message on Facebook, it's a scam. If someone sends you a message on Instagram, it's a scam. I know that having this absolute black and white style appreciation of the world where something is either safe or not safe, that is not the way the world works. There's far more gray in this world than that. But ultimately, right now, and I would say until the election, we need to look at every single message as if they are trying to rob us blind. Every time. And I do not want to cause people to go out and live a world and an existence of anxiety. I don't mean that, and that's not what you need to do. But what you need to be very conscious of is that right now, you are the target, and they are coming for you. And, well, that did not make it any better the way I just described it. That made it sound infinitely worse. So sorry, I did not help out with anxiety levels. What you just need to be aware of is the fact that we are. They're looking for us, and they're going to be trying to get you for absolute anything that they possibly can. And the best thing to do is just to look at everything in a defensive standpoint. You need to be defensive up until the election, probably after the election as well. I think we need to be very, very defensive in regards to our personal information and the things that we join and participate in. That definitely took a few little, after I realized how I had portrayed that in terms of my word choice, I was like, oh, man, that is not going to calm anyone down. That sounded extremely anxiety inducing. And so please, guys, do not feel anxious about it. Be aware of it. Be aware. All right, though, guys. First Mover Americas. Bitcoin reclaims 62,000. Bulls revisit the 100K target. A lot of positivity, and that's just generally around the fact that we've seen gold up 2.3%, back up to 2,468. We have Ethereum rebounding. We have Bitcoin rebounding. And so, of course, we have a general degree of a bullish feeling in the market. Personally, I am leaning entirely towards the dead cat bounce. Absolutely a dead cat bounce. And so I'm not expecting these price targets to be occurring anytime soon. I truly believe that our price of the crypto market is going to be based entirely off of the Trump campaign. We're going to be able to figure out where crypto is going based off of what Donald Trump says. For the remainder of this campaign season, I think that the crypto market is not tied to any traditional financial market. It's tied to Donald Trump. And that's because of the things that are being built and are being designed and being planned for by his administration and his allies. And so, and I really think that a lot of the other metrics are about to get thrown out of the window, at least until November 5th. After November 5th, maybe we'll be back to a fundamental level, and fundamentals will be back in charge. But ultimately, Bitcoin is going to go up when Trump says something positive. Bitcoin is going to be going down when the Democrats say something negative. And that is going to be the entire metric. If you really just wanted to make some quick money, all you would do is you would sit there and you would watch. And the second that Kamala Harris tweets something negative about Bitcoin, you'd sell. And the second Trump says something positive, you'd buy. I mean, predicting that is a silly game, and that's not how the world works. But if you wanted to make some easy money, it's going to pretty much be a guarantee. Trump comes out and talks about Bitcoin, the price goes up. Kamala comes out and talks about Bitcoin, the price is going to go down. All right. Crypto takes its 2024 political campaign to the White House. And this is a lot of what we've already been talking about. Ultimately, this is entirely built off of this presidential election. Everything is being set up in regards to cryptocurrency, in regards to precious metals as well, which is something that I don't talk about as often. You know, it's not my focus, but we're kind of looking at the same exact thing occurring between crypto and precious metals. We're seeing an absurd degree of suppression. We're seeing an absurd degree of market manipulation. And that's occurring in the stock market. But the big difference here is that the manipulation in the stock market is designed to increase the value of various stock prices. Whereas the manipulation that's occurring in precious metals and cryptocurrency is designed to suppress that upward trend. We're all experiencing manipulation. The difference is, what direction are they trying to manipulate us in? For crypto and precious metals, they're pushing our value down. And they're not going to stop until they're forced to stop. On the stock market, they're pushing the prices up. It's all manipulation. It's all wrong. But there's a big difference when you walk into the bank in regards to those two different forms of manipulation. You experience the massive stock market boom. You're feeling pretty good about that manipulation effort. You've sat on your gold or silver over the past couple of years, and you're looking at the price and you're going, it's worth infinitely more than that. Infinitely more than that. All right. Continuing forward, though, crypto exchange FTX. So, as we have talked about previously, Sam Friedman Bankman, his name causes some kind of issue in my brain. The guy with the curly hair that stole everybody's money, whose first name is Sam. His exchange has been ordered to pay $12.7 billion to customers on account of the commodity exchange. And I would say that the good thing here is that it seems as if FTX is capable of paying everyone back in full. And that does not in any way absolve Sam of his misdeeds. But I would say that does make the entire thing smell a little bit better. And so where it's looking like right now is because of when FTX's collapse occurred and they locked all of the cryptocurrency funds inside of the exchange. Since then, the value of those cryptocurrencies has gone up so much that it appears as if FTX is actually capable of paying everyone back what they're owed. It smells fishy, but the math adds up. The math adds up. When FTX did go down and everything else, Bitcoin was sitting around $30,000. And so, of course, they've doubled in value. And that means even though they stole hundreds of millions of dollars, their holdings that were locked up during the criminal proceedings, during the court proceedings, have gotten to a point where they're capable of actually covering the mistakes that the company made. And so we're in an insane situation right now where FTX robbed people. They stole their money flat out. They used their money to fund the Biden campaign and the midterms of 2022. Sam was the second largest donor to the Democratic Party in 2022 during the midterms, only beaten by George Soros. And when your only competition is George Soros, my question is, what kind of horrifying competition are you currently participating in? Because he was only beaten by George Soros. And of course, that money was all stolen from legitimate investors. And well, somehow FTX is now capable of paying all of that money back. And I'm very, very happy for the investors. And I think that's something that we should keep in mind, is that I'm very, very happy for the investors. I would hate to be the dude sitting there who had $100,000 on the FTX exchange and then not get paid back. And so I'm very happy for those folks. But I have an extreme degree of questions in regards to how FTX was capable of paying them all back. I get the math on the certain cryptos that they held, but FTX also had to liquidate an extreme amount of their cryptocurrency years ago during the fall, during the collapse. And yet they somehow still have enough to ensure that everyone gets paid back in full. I don't know. The blockchain gives me the information to say, because it is transparent, where I can genuinely look at the blockchain and say that FTX had the money. They have the money. How did they get the money? That's where I think the big question is. How did they get it? It's not, do they have it? They have it. I can see it. I can go onto the blockchain. I can point to it. And I can say FTX has the money to pay everybody back in full. They're scot-free in terms of their debt. They have it. How did they get it? More important question in my mind. All right. Oh, here's a funny one, guys. And now we're probably going to actually end right after our next two articles after this one. Will the Harris-Walz presidential campaign prioritize crypto policy? And yes, they will. Here's the short answer for everybody that is very, 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 very curious about what the Democrats' policy is on cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. The Harris-Walz presidential campaign are going to immensely prioritize legislation on cryptocurrency, but they are never going to talk about it. And I would like to make that very clear right out the bat. Whenever Harris or Tim Walz or any other member of the presidential current incumbency, as they say, puts out a message, they are never, and I mean never, going to do anything more than lip service to the general idea that crypto good, CBDC, muy bueno. That is going to be it. The Democratic Party is going to continue to come out and essentially never educate their populace. They're not going to educate their demographic because the Democratic Party is even smart enough to understand that if Democrats knew what they were up to in regards to our financial system, that their own supporters would turn against them. They're smart enough to get that. And they're not going to tell them what their plans are with crypto. They aren't going to do it. It would be beyond dumb of them. And they're dumb, but I have to at least hope they ain't that dumb. And so over the coming months, we're going to see the Harris and Walz campaign thread a very, very fine line where essentially they're going to claim that they're going to provide better regulation. Of course, it's politics. You say you're going to provide regulation. I'm going to provide better regulation. So they're going to say that. They're going to say, we will provide better regulation for the United States in regards to cryptocurrency. And they're going to keep hammering down on the idea of money laundering. And they're not going to quit. They're going to constantly state that everything in regards to decentralized finance is facilitating criminal money laundering. They're going to tell us that Russia is buying bombs with cryptocurrency and that it's our fault. They're going to say that. Absolutely 1,000,000%. They will say exactly those words. Repeat me verbatim. Come back a year from now. I guarantee to you that before this election is over, that either Harris herself or someone very close to her campaign is going to claim that because of President Trump and because of the Republican position on cryptocurrencies, that Russia has bought bombs and they have killed innocent civilians. I guarantee to you they will. I absolutely guarantee it. You know I don't gamble. I'll gamble on that because it will happen. They've already done it before. They're going to do it again. And so when it comes down to the Biden, Harris, Walz, Obama campaign, because I think it's an Obama campaign, expect to hear absolutely horrifying things in regards to cryptocurrency and expect them to maintain a very, very hard line based around central bank digital currencies. That's what they want. That's the only reason they've embraced crypto. They want their CBDC, and they're going to do whatever they have to do to make it happen. All right, though, on to the next one. And this one is really just for fun. And so I will be posting this link actually inside of the chat right away. Scientists illuminate a path to quantum AGI with new light-based chips. Recent breakthroughs in photonic computing could finally make human-level AI possible. A very, very, very interesting topic to dig into. And for a lot of those that are considering or thinking about the idea of a quantum financial system, I would highly recommend that you read that article. Otherwise, I'm going to leave it alone because I'm starting to learn a little bit better what things tend to get me in trouble on YouTube. And talking about revolutionary new systems in terms of the way that we spend our money seems to trigger someone out there. And so I'm just going to go ahead and give y'all the article to dig into. And I'm going to go try and grab a Valentina and a Valentino. And then I'm going to bid everyone here adieu and look forward to another stream very, very soon. It's all right, guys. I'm looking for a Tino and a Tina. All right, guys, we do. We have our little Tino, and he was, of course, sleeping on the bed, as is usual. Down to little buddy. I mean, it was tough going. It was tough going at first with Tina. He was not happy and he did not like me for a while, but he has finally gotten over it. He has finally gotten over it. And so he's a happy boy at the moment. And yes, buddy. I do. I need to grab Tina. I need to grab Tina. All right, buddy. You hang out in Tina's box. And we have our Tina, who is not near as happy about being picked up. Not near as happy. And Savvy, I would say they need a catwall. They absolutely do. And the great thing is that they're going to have a catwall very, very soon. And so in the next month or so, all the kitty cats are going to have their own wall and some trees and such to play around in the background as we have our streams and we go through our lessons. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. I know Tina is just looking forward to more places to sleep because Tina is one lazy cat. I know, I said it. I did. And you are. But yes, they will, guys. And so thank you all so much for joining this evening. I am going to run off. I know that there's a lot more going on in the world right now. And so definitely be looking towards whether it's the original Mark T or me throughout this weekend, just because there are irons that are currently in the fire. There may be an announcement or a show that comes out of nowhere. Of course, that may or may not occur based off of whether it's necessary or not. But I would think that this would be a good weekend to look towards possibly having one. So thank you guys all so much. I absolutely love you. Please keep everyone in the community in thoughts and prayers, and also be extremely cautious as you are out there online, and tell people you care about to be cautious also. I do not ever want to get another email that someone in my community or someone in the original Mark Z community has been scammed or robbed. It upsets me. I know it upsets Pops. It upsets me. Please, guys, educate, teach, spread the word. Spread the word. We are being targeted. And when we're being targeted, the only thing we can do in a situation like this is protect ourselves. So, with all that said, thank you guys. I cannot wait to talk to you again very, very soon. So, hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and peace, y'all.